Welcome to the Positive Spiritual Living Podcast, brought to you by Unity on the Bay. This is your positive path for spiritual living.
I chose it to be the Advent season. And so I'm going to invite you, how many of you had celebrated Advent season before? Wonderful, wonderful. Well, if you haven't been doing so lately, I'm going to invite you to celebrate with me in the next couple of weeks. If you've never done this before, I'm going to share with you a little bit about what Advent is all about. See, there's this wreath here, and the wreath actually represents the presence of God that is always there. It's a circle. It never ends. And then these 4 candles really represent 4 of the gifts that can come from this season, especially if we're intentional about it. So the first one that's already lit is the candle of hope. Because every Sunday you light a new one, right? So this is the candle of hope. For me, wanting to be intentional with this season, it's about how can I cultivate and nurture hope in my life. The second candle is the candle of peace. For me, the question is, how can I be more peace in the world? How can I express more peace in my life and in the world community? The third candle is love. And yes, this is a season of sharing and receiving lots of love and being with your loved ones. But I especially want to be intentional about how I am sharing my love, how it is that I'm showing up as love. And then the fourth one is joy. How do I get to experience joy? And so, I mentioned even during the meditation, hope. Christ in you, the hope of all glory. It is difficult sometimes to look out at the horizon and hold on to hope. But the reality is that we have been doing that for a very long time. How many of you have experienced challenges or difficult situations in the past? How many of you have thought to yourself, I may not get through this? And yet you're here. And yet you are here. You moved through those challenges, you moved through those difficult experiences, and you showed up. Because Christ in you, the hope of all glory. And we think maybe we haven't necessarily connected to that in the past, but the reality is that if you're here, if you've moved through those challenges, you not only have connected to it, but you have totally expressed that Christ power within you. It is that essence within you that has the strength and the ability to move through anything and find hope. And hope is a very powerful thing, is it not? When there are moments of despair, even that little glimmer of hope allows you to let go of some of the fear, let go of some of the doubt, and show up in a different way. And so I want to invite you to turn to the person next to you and say, I am here. I made it through and I am here. The glory of God that I am made me be here. One of the things that I loved about yesterday, my fall small group still was meeting because we skipped a couple of Sundays. And we met yesterday, and in our small group conversation, we talked about the fact that when we were able to come together and share our experiences, we realized that we all had challenges, that we all were able to move through it, and it invited us to realize that we did have it within us. So one of the things that I'm going to be most especially doing this holiday season is seeing how I can nurture hope by sharing stories with people. How have I come through it? How have other people come through it? And the other way that we can really nurture hope is by really just being open to what it is in that moment that Christ's glory in us is moving to express. To really hold on to that hope and see that the horizon is here and is coming, and it's bringing a different horizon, a different experience that we have maybe never even dreamed of. Whatever challenge or situation that you are moving through in this moment, know that it can't get you down. Whatever challenge or situation that you may be moving through in this moment, know that it is not more powerful than the truth of your being, that you are Christ in expression. And not only that, but you have expressed it throughout your life, and that it has moved through you in ways that you didn't even realize. So in this very moment, if you have a challenge or a difficult situation, know that there is not only hope, but there is faith and there is an understanding that you are going to move through it. Be intentional about knowing that about yourself and your own power, and that's how you light the candle of hope. The candle of peace. So, how is it that we are showing up as peace? The reality is that if you have already been shopping, maybe you guys did some Black Friday shopping, that not everything in our experience necessarily shows up as peace, right? And so if you were in line, maybe the cashier was really tired, maybe somebody else was in line with you and they weren't as friendly as you would have wanted them to be. In that moment, who has the power to experience that as peace? Who? It is your opportunity to be peace. No matter what is going on with you, around you, who has the power to shift that experience to an experience of peace? You. Don't give control over your feelings to somebody else. Honor and respect who you are as a divine child of God. Honor and respect who you are as the full possibility and opportunity for peace to express in the world. Truly respect that you are a child of God. And yes, Christ in you, the hope of all glory, is within you. If you know that to be true, then it doesn't matter what is happening around you. You can take a moment, breathe, and know that you are peace. And if you need additional help, this is a wonderful opportunity, a wonderful season to be able to go into prayer. You know, hey, maybe you're Latin like me, and so you're going to be doing some novenas, right? So use that to really bring you into an experience of peace. If you are somebody that wants to go deeper into meditation, this is a wonderful opportunity so that in that moment when something shows up, you have a tool that brings you into that experience of peace, and you light the candle for peace on that Sunday. The next one is love. And I'm so excited about being intentional with my love this season because I found there was another Unity minister that shared something about Advent, and I love the acronym that she found for love. And so I'm going to invite all of us to experience the sharing of love in this way. And so L stands for listen. To listen intently to the people that are around you. It is through really listening, to have an open heart, and to really try to understand somebody that people feel understood, and most importantly, that they feel connected. And in that way, you not only understand, but you yourself feel more connected. So listen. Listen to those around you. Listen to what is going on, and really listen to that inner voice within you that is calling you to have a deeper experience this season. The O is to optimize. So as you're listening, as you're going out your business, optimize your time with people. So if you're like me, yes, we're getting ready to have family over and experience family. But I'll be honest, there's a little part in me that is already aware that that means that I'm going to have a few fights with my mom, that I'm going to have a couple of discussions with other people around me. And the reality is that I have allowed that to sort of make me step back from even the Christmas spirit, just knowing that there's going to be that kind of stuff. But the reality is in this moment, I'm being invited, one, to hold true to the hope, to hold true to being peace, especially hold true to optimizing my time. So yes, the people that we love, the people that we're closest to are probably the people that know our buttons, right? How many of you think your buttons are going to be pressed this Christmas holiday? Good, I'm not the only one. But what we are able to do in that moment, if we just take the opportunity to question, how can I optimize my time? So if we're having that relationship, if we're having that issue come up, can I optimize my time? Is the best use of my time in this moment to maybe draw boundaries, to really talk about what's going on with that individual? Or is it better use of my time to actually just let things go? Optimize my time. Neither of them are better than the other as long as you ask the question, what is the best use of my time in this moment, in this relationship? And then moving on to V, value. Value the people around you. You know, we're in the spirit of gifting each other gifts, right? But the reality is that all the people around us are maybe not giving us always like a wrapped little gift in a box, but they're gifting us with something every single time that we are connected, every single time that we are together. What are the gifts that people are bringing to you, and how are you valuing it? How can you see somebody who's in your life, see them whole, see them perfect, and be grateful for all the gifts of love, of joy, of peace, of light that they're bringing into your life, and being truly conscious of that, to then move into a time of expressing it. You know, I've been thinking about Christmas cards, and I do a lot of the, you buy the ones that have already everything pre-written, so you just have to sign your name on it. And I was thinking to myself this morning, what would it look like if I actually wanted to express my gratitude and appreciation specifically to the people around me that I was sending those Christmas cards about their gifts? What would it look like if I took just an extra 20 seconds to actually not just write my name, but to say, I'm most especially grateful for the gift of whatever it is that they brought into my life. And in that way, then we are deepening the ways in which we are sharing love at a much more conscious level, and we are able to turn on the candle for love. Now, the candle for joy, I'm just going to go ahead and turn that one on, because the reality is that I feel that if I'm intentional about hope, if I'm intentional about peace, if I'm intentional about love, joy just springs up from me. It's not something that I have to work on. It's something that I just have to allow myself to experience, because it's just naturally there, with zeal, with enthusiasm for the Christmas spirit, for the ways in which I'm connecting, and for the ways in which I am having an experience of Christmas, not just celebrating Christmas, experiencing Christmas and experiencing this deep level of love and light that is this holiday season. John chapter 1 verse 9 says, a true light which enlightens everyone was coming into the world. A true light was coming into this world. Now, I feel, and I'm going to invite you to join me in the next couple of weeks to really be intentional with the Advent season. But I feel that if I do this, and as I do this, I'm moving into a deeper understanding that it's not necessarily that just I'm preparing for that Christ light to be reborn within me, but that actually I've allowed that Christ light to be born within me, and I've lit its way into that birth. I have turned on the lights to allow myself to experience myself as the light, open and receptive to sharing more of it. And then it's no longer, an adventure in Advent, but really we can start looking at our lives and this season as the advent of a new adventure. A new adventure, a new way of living that lives from the place of light, of hope, and of love. How many of you are ready this season to not only see that for yourself, but to see it for all of human race? Are you with me this morning? Because it is the opportunity that we have before us to really celebrate Christmas, just like Charles Fillmore said. Let us celebrate the season by glorifying God, by seeing God in everything, by honoring God in everything from that high consciousness, bringing peace on earth, being the peace that earth is calling for in this moment, and sharing goodwill to all men, connecting, deepening our love and appreciation for each and every one that graces and blesses our lives and gives us the opportunity to be a blessing in their life. Join me this Advent season in having a deeper experience of Christmas, and let us see the world fully enveloped by the light of God. Namaste. Thank you. And we continue to share our light. I'm going to invite our ushers to come forward. Our ushers are here to create that space for us to be able to give in gratitude, give in an awareness of being the light. And I especially want to remind you that through your love offerings and through your giving, we have been able to be a blessing to the Miami community, not just for the people that are here, but every first Sunday of the month, this being the first Sunday of December, we're going to be going to Chapman Partnership for the Homeless, and we're going to be preparing meals, feeding the homeless there, and bringing them our love. And through your giving, and through the 16 years of partnership with them, we have been able to give them almost $200,000 to support the homeless community in Miami. So know that that is where your love offering and your gifts are going to. And so I'm going to invite you to just bring them to your heart. Whether you're here in the sanctuary or you're on Facebook Live, just to take a moment and breathe in gratitude into your giving. And speak our love offering blessing together. Divine love, that I am, blesses all that I give and all that I receive. Amen.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Positive Spiritual Living Podcast, brought to you by Unity on the Bay, a spiritual community located in Miami, Florida. Unity on the Bay is supported by the generosity of its community. If you'd like to make a donation or learn more about Unity on the Bay, please visit unityonthebay.org. You can also follow Unity on the Bay on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for even more positive spiritual inspiration. Until next time, thanks for listening and many blessings. Namaste.